Alright, back with OP-14 teach stuff, so um, was just going to show uh, the Emu matchup. This is the deck list that I've been running with Tempest Kick. I like it. The other deck list I showed is also great. They're pretty similar. So anyway, Emu is still one of the strongest decks in the format. Slightly weaker than last format, so I'm hoping representation will be a little bit lower in OP-14 than in OP-13. But anyway, here's the deck list. The strategy is basically the same as it was in OP-13. So we're going for Burgess, 5 cost Kuzan into Burgess, 6 cost Kuzan into 5 cost Kuzan into Burgess to maintain hand size and resources. In OP-13, I feel like the matchup was like 50-50 to maybe slightly unfavored if the Emu player was very good. In this format, it's slightly worse just because of ground death. A lot of the most Emu players are running this in their deck as well now. So what that means is on their 6th on turn, they can play this to nullify our 5 cost Kuzan or our Burgess, and then play their Mars to KO them because they can nullify them and then KO them. And so that means from 6th on onwards, at least, we're forced to leader ability, so we're a little bit shorter in resources in this matchup. Um, with that being said, it's still winnable with this deck list. I think it's probably like 45-55 or 40-60 at the very worst, but still very winnable, and hopefully like I said, it will be slightly less represented since there are more decks which can uh, beat Emu, uh, Boa, and Mihawk, in addition to Ace. So anyway, show a few games here showing that you can beat this deck and what the basic strategy is against it. I figured out the audio. So audio should be a little bit better from now on moving forward, just using a different screen record program. But some of these games that I'm showing are a little bit older, so a couple of them will still have like pretty bad audio quality, just like background noise. But anyway, here's some games. Hopefully you enjoy. This deck is great. Alright, we get Emu, Arch Nemesis. Of course, I think we keep this. So we have stage. Q does nothing. It's tempting to grab the Burgess. I kind of need it, but I think we need to Lafitte next turn. I may kick myself for not grabbing the Burgess while it's there, though. Okay, so he has never existed in Equilibrium. So it kind of looks like he might not be running Ground Death since he's running Equilibrium. Okay. And do we pitch here? We haven't seen any Saturn or Mars, or any Saturn or Mercury. And he's already down 3 Shalriz, so I think I'm just going to let him have it for this turn. Ah, he does have it. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, this is looking a bit annoying for us. Yes. Because he's shown us the equilibrium, I don't think he's running ground death. Otherwise, I would pitch so that this doesn't get KO'd. We counter this first one and take the second one, since it can be much larger. Yeah. Okay. Attack here. Let's go. I think I'm going to not pitch here as well. Honestly, that's kind of fine with me, just trading a 2K. He's down to 4 cards in hand. So yeah, I think we counter the first one, block the second one. Unfortunately, we do not have anything to bring back with. Okay, worst case scenario, we can bring Devon back. We can get another search here. Hopefully Burgess. Yes, okay, we get a Burgess and trash. Good. So we go 5, 5, 8 liter. There we go. Burgess. Who's on? Availability. Still at 4 life is actually kind of terrifying. But us being still at 4 life is also kind of good. He's pretty low in hand size now. Does he turn it sideways? Take that every time. The card draw only has 1 open. But he's still at 4 life, so it's a lot of resources. This could be a dragged out game. Only 1 Elders in trash. Okay, so we definitely play 10 cost here. Stun the Jupiter. Swing double 5 here. now the question is, do we bring back this or do we bring back Katarina? Normally, I would bring back a blocker here, but I feel like I really just want to push, so I think it's going to be Burgess. Since he doesn't have a Nostro, he probably won't be able to clear one of these. Maybe it should have been a blocker there, actually. Probably should have taken 2 of those, actually. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He could swing 12. So if he swings over this and reduces this, then that could be pretty annoying. It's one of the reasons I think I should have taken there. Well, now he has no Dawn open, so do we take here? We probably die next turn anyway. So let me think here. If we double black hole, he only has enough events to counter out of one of our swings. I think we have to take and hope that we find another black hole. And we do. Alright, let's see if we get there. So the last 2 swings could be 13s. It takes double event to get out of one of these swings, so then he'll have the hard counter. 13. Which actually I don't think is possible. Yeah, it's guaranteed without any events. Alright, and we get the win against Emu going first. Not impossible. And I think I could have actually played that better too. At the end especially. Would have had an additional Burgess if I would have played that better. And we might have been able to go.
Alright, we go first, we keep this. I think we grab this for the next turn. Then leader ability again. Does he play the Jupiter here? We'll see. Yeah, well, we played Black Hole, so that's exactly why we leader ability, so that he can't do that. Well, we're gonna need one of these here. Maybe it was better just to go straight into Burgess, since we don't have a blocker in trash. I do see the Katarina, so that's nice. Probably take a counter. an awkward game. No black holes to go for game just yet. Alright, so if we play 10 cost, okay, we'll grab this. Question is, do we survive another turn? Or do we have to go for it now? So, if we stun this, we kill this, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more swings. We'll have 3 blocks, 1 life, so that means we'll only have to counter out of 1 swing. He only has 1 never existed in trash, so that means he likely has 2. So if we go for the black hole, he'll be able to counter out of 1 swing with 2 events, and then he'll just have to counter out of 5, 8, a 5 and an 8, which seems pretty reasonable. So I think we are forced to play for another turn. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 swings. So we'll have to use the Katarina before he plays the 10 Elders, assuming that he has it at all. If we... Okay, I'm just going to not leader ability here. That could be a mistake. But that's also assuming that he even has the last one, because there's 3 in trash. So I think we just do this. Okay, so... Okay. I think we survive here. Or do we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we don't. Yeah, we die. Actually, we don't. We survive. I was thinking he would be able to swing with this. And he doesn't have enough Dawn left to play another Nesdruro, so I think we just win. Yeah, that would be it. Alright, we're gonna keep this. Mine's Jupiter. So basically he has to draw into another event. And we get the win. Alright. Opponent sees Searcher, he's got Saturn and Nostro and Trash, and he's got a Shalria, which means he'll get another search next turn. Do we let him? You know, I'm gonna gamble and just use leader ability from this turn onward. Deny all of his searches. Unless he has event, I guess. He does have event. That's unfortunate. We know he has Nostro. We don't know yet if he has Jupiter. Only seen one Burgess. That's fairly unfortunate. Ten, 11, 12. And we get the win. Alright, we can look in this, and this is pretty bad. Yeah, this is pretty terrible. No stage. We do have one, my era. Mine's the Saturn. This one event, too sure Hershey's in the trash. This is kind of tough. I guess it's just this. We do find the stage, okay. That's good. Good news. I think I'm gonna grab Lafitte just because we don't have a Burgess to throw out, so we could double Lafitte next turn. No leader ability here. We'll be leader abilitying from the next turn on. Which is a GARP event. Wow, okay. I guess it's just a 2K. Really need to find that freaking Burgess. Probably don't need another one of these. I guess maybe another 2K, or I guess maybe Auger. Yeah. Still no Burgess. I don't know if we'll have time to play 2 of these, but I guess. So 5, he probably uses the GARP event. No? Okay. And then we'll leader ability this away. There's our Burgess, thank goodness. So, I think we grab this so we can ramp our Burgess next turn. And I think we'll just go straight into Burgess here. I think I get rid of 110 cost here. So I don't know that we're going to have time to play 2 in this game. Okay, so we know Jupiter and Saturn. I think those are the only elders we've seen. Let that go, of course. I think we counter this because there's a lot of Dawn left over. Is it a worker? Another Saturn? Nothing. Interesting. Maybe he has a handful of events. There's another Burgess. 10 in trash, so we can potentially clear our Burgess this turn. But it will require a bit of Dawn investment. I guess if he plays the Jupiter here, it'd be easier for him. He's only got 5 cards in hand though. I think we probably just go straight into Burgess with our Kuzan here. He's been through a lot of events. Yeah, 2 of those and 2 carp events. He does have the Jupiter. That is quite unfortunate. Oof. Only 3 cards in hand though. At this point I kind of wish we hadn't pitched the other 10 cost, because we might actually get a chance to play it, considering the board state. We're pretty cooked from here. Unless his hand is just super bad, but there's no way he doesn't have 5 elders here. 1, 2, 3. Only see 3 in the trash though. But he can definitely clear our Burgess. Only 3 elders is pretty brutal, considering we have double blocker and he has, double black hole, and he has none of the blockers. We may actually be able to push for lethal on the next turn, but it sort of depends on how many Dawn he keeps open, I suppose. He'll almost certainly be trying to clear one of these teaches. That's an interesting choice. Can he counter all of this? Seems pretty unlikely. So what would it be? 3 13s? Yeah. Countering 2 13s seems pretty unlikely with, yeah, he'd have to have, yeah, it's got it. That was kind of surprising.